What's up, you guys? Welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what exactly happened to my Tacoma, because if you guys do follow me on Instagram, you guys know something did happen to this thing and I didn't explain exactly what it was. So today's video is going to solve that. Let's go. Alright, you guys, so this video is going to be for the ones that did actually ask me what happened to my Tacoma, because as you guys do know, if you guys do follow me on Instagram, it did get towed away and I didn't really talk about what actually happened, and I got a bunch of DMs about it. So that's the only reason I'm making today's video, because it looked like a bunch of you guys were interested as to what happened. I'll be honest with you guys, it was nothing bad and it's kind of common on Tacomas, but the way everything happened and led up to what I had to pay for, it got expensive, and a couple other things happened along the way as well, which made no sense. But we'll talk about that in a bit. But before we get into that, I did want to kind of explain some other things as well. As far as the Tacoma being down, I do also have another car, which that's usually the one for work, and that one broke a little bit as well. We'll talk about that. And honestly, this Jeep behind me, I've had it since 2020, and this thing actually saved me, because without this, I wouldn't have no car at all, and it would have sucked, because the Tacoma was down for a couple days and so was the car. With this Jeep, I mean, I know you guys don't really like Jeeps, but this thing right here, once again, it saved me. And all the way around, this thing looks awesome. I mean, it has tires, it has a lift, front and rear bumpers, I have KC lighting on it. It's pretty built, don't get me wrong, and it's a cool car. It's just like you, I'm saying it for myself as well, I'm not really a Jeep fan, but overall this thing looks cool and it got me out of a big pickle and it got me around. So I do got to say a big thank you to this. Another thing too, when the Tacoma actually this happened, I'll explain what this thing actually saved me, because I was able to still go off-road, I was still able to go camping, and I was still able to hang out with my friends. So I can't hate on this thing too much. And of course, we've had it for 4 years and it's still running. Heck yeah. Another thing too, once again, kind of touching back as far as all the people that messaged me. I know some of you guys, I told you guys I sold the Tacoma, and I know some of you guys, I actually told you what happened. And then some of you guys, I just did not reply. That's why we're making, once again, today's video. Before we actually dive in too deep though, today's video is going to be a little bit more of like a story time and just explaining what led up to the event of this happening, and it's just going to be kind of like a story. So let's dive right into it. I'm going to get inside because it's hot in the garage. Alright, you guys, so I kind of spilled the beans already. I mean, I didn't get a new truck. I seriously wish I did. And kind of touching on that, I know I've been posting a brand new TRD Pro Tacoma on my page. So that one's not mine, I'll be honest with you guys. It was actually lent to me for a couple days by Toyota. A huge shout out to them. I was able to take some pictures with it. I was able to take it off-road, enjoy it. I was able to do a lot of things with it. Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm partnering today with Toyota to go ahead and take my mom off-road in the 2024 Toyota Tacoma. Are you ready, Mom?
Yes.
¿Estás nerviosa?
Un poquito.
Let's go.
Pero, let's go.
Este sí tiene mucho poder. ¿Lo quieres tratar?
Claro.
Ahorita que estoy manejando, puedes escuchar el view, sí, para que podamos mirar en todos lados.
Para más seguridad.
Now that we finished off-roading, did you have fun?
Sí.
What was your favorite part?
Cuando estabas dando las donas y cuando ibas recio, me gustó.
Well, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. So I got to give a big thanks to Toyota Latino to be specific. One day I'll get one. Right now I can't afford the thing. I mean, it's $70,000 truck. So maybe down the road I'll go ahead and I'll buy one. But as far as right now, I can't afford it. So all those teasers that I gave you guys, that answers that. Then as far as the Tacoma not being traded in, like I told some of you guys, it actually broke. So let's go ahead and kind of reverse back to the day that it happened. The way it happened was my wifey was driving it. As she was driving it, she lost brakes completely. So that's gonna kind of answer, if you guys know a little bit about cars or trucks, what happened. So the brakes were completely lost. I was already kind of hearing noises. I was hearing screeching. I was hearing something going on back there. So I kind of had an idea the rear brakes were going to give out, which technically they're drums. I already knew something was going on back there, so I personally was going to go get it checked. I didn't want to deal with it because if anyone's ever done drum brakes, they're not fun. So I was actually going to take it into a shop or to my good friend Jerry, better known as BeastFab, to have him check it out, most likely even change it. I'm at about 79,000 miles. So if you guys know anything about Tacomas, that's roughly, I want to say 70 to 100,000 miles roughly is when those drums give out. I was a little bit overdue. I should have already done it. So that's why I was like, okay, in the next week, I'll take it and I'll have it fixed. So now jumping back to the day that it broke, that weekend, which the day that it broke, it was a Wednesday. So that weekend, I was actually going to go camping and I was going to go hang out with some friends and we were just going to have a blast. That's why I was saying a huge shout out to my Jeep, because that if I didn't have that Jeep, I was not going to go out with my friends. I was not going to be able to enjoy nature. I'm super thankful I had the Jeep because I was able to enjoy that. I was able to go off-road, take a bunch of cool pictures, a bunch of cool things. So follow me on Instagram because I was posting a bunch of it there and I'll continue to post some stuff of that day, or that weekend I should say. Going back to that Wednesday when the truck broke. So the day before that, I have an old Civic, a 2001 that I used for work only. That actually ended up breaking on me on Tuesday. I was pulling into the Honda dealership. I was gonna get just an oil change and it died. Like it completely died. It turned back on, but it was shaking like really bad. I already personally knew, I mean, it's an old car. So I had just done the spark plugs. So I was like, okay, it can't be the spark plugs. My next thing, it's gonna be the coils. So I drove it in, check engine came on, it was shaking bad. But whatever, I got that checked out. It ended up being the coils. I had them do it. That's fine, blah, blah, blah. They were gonna keep it for a couple days. So now the next day, which is now Wednesday, the day the truck broke, my wifey calls me, hey, I lost brakes. I have to get the truck towed. So she ended up getting it towed to Toyota. And that was fine, whatever, you know, I was gonna have them take care of it. Then I started asking her, hey, like what happened, you know, this and that. I had her explain to me. Basically, this is the story she gave me, and this led to me already knowing, damn, it was my rear drums. So the story that she told me was she was driving and out of nowhere, all the lights on my instrument cluster turned on. And as that happened, in the rear, she heard a loud pop. Once she heard the loud pop, she was coming to a light. She hit the brakes, no brakes. Technically, it was the rear drums, like I already specified. So yeah, the truck was not gonna stop. I towed to Toyota and they told me, this happened in the morning. They told me that day they were gonna get it checked out, blah, blah, blah. They're gonna call me back. Finally, they called me later on that Thursday. They were telling me basically, hey, we're looking at your truck. We're gonna have to charge you extra because your truck is highly modified. Which I kind of expected that, but from the initial call that Wednesday morning, the guy just told me, hey, this is gonna be the flat rate to check it. So I okayed everything. I told him, check it, get it done. And then the next day when they call me, they start coming up with stuff. Like I said, I'm not gonna go into detail because I like that dealership, but basically they started adding stuff on. In that moment, I'm like, man, another good friend, Christian, him and his dad actually own a shop, like an actual mechanic shop. So he told me, hey, try to get it towed to me and we'll get it figured out. If you guys know him, Freedom FJ 4x4 on Instagram, huge shout out to him. He's been a good friend since I've met him. He's always been a good friend to me. So he told me, hey, get it towed out, bring it to my shop, we'll take care of it. So after he told me that, I was like, heck yeah, whatever, you know. So we ended up getting the tow truck. Huge shout out to my cousin Alex, better known as Magneto Taco on Instagram. He's the one that actually got my truck towed because I don't have AAA and he does. So now that my cousin's there, we're waiting for the tow truck. As we were waiting for it, it's just my luck. Radiator blows up. That has nothing to do with the brakes. That has nothing to do with anything that was going on with the truck, and my radiator blows up. So now we got two problems. Now, I don't know how in-depth the drums broke at this point because of course I haven't gotten it inspected or anything like that. Finally, the tow truck gets there. I hit up my friend Christian. I'm like, hey, you know, the truck is gonna get towed to you. Just know now we got another problem. So he got my truck towed from Toyota all the way to Costa Mesa to A&G Imports. Once again, my good friend Christian. We got towed to his shop. I knew it wasn't gonna get done because that weekend is the weekend we were gonna go camping and he was a part of our friends that were gonna go. I already knew, and I even told him, I was like, don't even worry about it this week. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going. We had to plan the camping trip. We had to plan a whole bunch of stuff. Tacoma was down. So that's why I didn't post with it. That's why I didn't take it off-road with me. We ended up taking the Jeep. We had an awesome weekend, by the way. It was freaking great. Hung out by the waterfall and stuff like that. I just kind of kept a happy mindset and we had an awesome time, by the way. Kind of laughing about it when we were at camp and he was kind of telling me like what it might be from what I told him. We finally ended up coming home and the next week started. Here comes Monday. Freaking Christian, the guy that he is, like I said, we're good friends, so I don't care. He hits me up, he's like, hey man, call your insurance right away. It's gonna be a total loss. I found more stuff going on with your truck. But at this point, I'm stressing out. I'm already at work on Monday, and it's a Monday, you know, no one likes to work on Monday. So I was already stressed out. I'm like, oh man, whatever, it is what it is. At this point, total lost the truck, I'll cash out on it. I have gap insurance, so whatever, you know? It's just like, man, now I gotta worry about taking all the parts off. Gotta try to put the trucks back to stock. I can sell the parts or use them for the next truck. So in a way, I wasn't too mad because in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'll sell all those parts so it can kind of pay for me to get the TRD Pro, the brand new one. So in a way, I was excited, but at the same time, I was kind of depressed because everything just kind of kept going wrong and wrong and wrong. So I was like, man, I was really pissed off. I'm sure you guys would have been pissed off and you guys would have felt the same thing. I told him, no way, blah, blah. We were talking a little bit, and then he finally told me he's kidding. And he was like, no, I'm gonna finally bring it into the shop. We're gonna check it out. I have the sheet here, exactly what he did, so I'll kind of read it off to you guys. It was a lot cheaper for me to take it to him than if I would have took it or left it in Toyota. I can guarantee you for the job that we did, it probably would have been 2-3 grand. Jumping back to the truck. So finally he inspected it, and it turned out, yeah, it was the rear drums. They blew out completely. So I guess some of the internals blew out. I messed up a couple other things inside. Cylinders, I messed up the cylinders. I messed up a bunch of the hardware that's in there. Like I told you guys earlier, I knew it was time for me to change the brakes, and he actually told me it was because I guess it was metal on metal. So 100% this could have been prevented. That's my fault for not doing the maintenance on the truck as far as the rear drums. I already knew it had to be done. It's just that week we were gonna go camping. We had a lot of things going on. So I didn't have no time. I was like, all right, I'll take it the following week, but I guess it didn't last because it blew up. All in all, you guys should be checking your rear drums. So if you guys are at around that 70,000 mile and up mark and you haven't changed out your rear drums on your Tacoma, I highly suggest doing it or at least getting it checked so this doesn't happen to you. In parts alone, it's not that bad. It's maybe more the labor that's gonna cost you. I'm not even gonna tell you guys what I paid because of course he's my good friend. I don't know exactly what he charges and stuff like that. All I can tell you is the price that I paid is really, really good compared to what I would have paid at Toyota. So let me read this here. So basically we needed to do a new hardware kit, we needed new wheel cylinders, and a couple other little miscellaneous things are on here that we needed to actually switch out. He also did the other side, even though it didn't explode. It's always good to switch out both sides. After that was done, that was kind of the expensive part. If you guys ever need work, hit him up, he can give you pricings. So now moving on to the next problem, which like I said, I'm almost 100% sure radiator blew up when we were at the dealership. There was coolant everywhere and it was in that area. So that was the next thing that he had to fix. But he ended up actually removing the radiator because he said same thing, it's probably gonna be that and a hose. So he ended up switching that stuff out. I know I had a CSF radiator in there, which is like a performance radiator, but I don't know what happened to it where it had like a big gash on the side of it. I don't have fender wells, so I don't know if that was the problem. Might have kicked up a rock and hit it. I don't know. I really do not know. I just know it had a gash on the side and it was spewing out all the coolant. I'm just honestly kind of glad that it happened at the dealership while I was waiting for the tow truck, because it would have sucked if it happened at another time. Then I had to call another tow truck, get it towed. At least this kind of, which is weird because it has nothing to do with the brakes, but at least it all happened at once, so everything was handled at once as well. So I ended up telling him, you know what, just for now, buy me another radiator, get that thing replaced, and at least we got the truck running. Later on, I'll worry about putting the CSF radiator back in, but for now, I just wanted to get the truck back and I want to get it out of there. So he ended up doing that, and from there, he was kind of showing me different problems that are wrong with the truck. Some things I already knew, and some things I had like I thought were wrong, and he kind of clarified everything that was wrong with the truck. So that's for another time. If you guys didn't see my story on Instagram, I kind of listed everything that's wrong with the truck. Have to keep in mind, when you guys start modifying your truck, you can't be too picky about things going wrong because it's gonna happen. After I finish that stuff, I have a bunch of other parts that I have to install in the truck. I'll tell you guys what it is right now if you're just staying tuned to the end of this video. I got a brand new KC light bar for the roof. I've been wanting one of those for the longest. I just couldn't see myself spending the money, but I finally got one. I'm gonna go ahead and install that. I got a brand new steering wheel from Yodaverse. It's a carbon fiber steering wheel. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys saw me post it. I have that. I did a whole like tufskinz haul. I have a bunch of products, literally almost everything on Tufskinz website. I already have some of their stuff on my truck, but I'm gonna remove it because it's really old. Install the brand new fresh stuff. And you know, in the past I've done videos on their products, but it's always been like specific to what I'm installing. So I'm thinking about doing like just the overall haul and showing you guys everything that I got and showing you guys where it goes. If you're interested in that. I also have a couple other miscellaneous things. I got a couple more KC pods for my rock lights, so I can add a couple more. I'm getting brand new Kingpin lighting. If you guys don't know about that company, you guys should check it out. I know I just installed bed lighting in the truck, but if you guys watched that video, I had mentioned to you guys that it was a temporary fix just to have bed lights in the bed, since I do have that camper shell. And it was like an Amazon buy. They're a little bit more on the pricey side, but it's super high quality. When I make the video, I'll show you guys. So we have that to install. And I know I have a bunch of other things. I have like a bin full of brand new parts for the truck. And I have a bunch of other products. I can't remember off the top of my head what I have in there. We have to make some videos on that. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, you guys are seriously missing out, because every month I've been doing giveaways. For this month, we're actually giving away locked off-road shocks. So once again, if you're not following my Instagram, I highly suggest that you do. It's a great value. They're great shocks. I love them on my Tacoma, and they have a bunch of miles on them already, and they still feel good. Follow me on Instagram. Every month we've been giving away cool prizes. So if you guys like free stuff, what else is there? What else did I want to talk about? I'm waiting for my good friend Jerry, better known as BeastFab, to make my rear bumper. Stay tuned. And if you guys want to see something specific, like for me, I want to do more off-road content, camping stuff. But for now, we're going to kind of end that here. If you guys have any questions, you guys already know, hit me up on Instagram. It's easier for me to reply on there. Or you could go ahead and comment down below either way. If you guys did like today's video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Sorry for all the talking. See you guys.
JesseRizo is here for you. It's here for you, Like I said, it's super simple. Please feel free to subscribe.